Alright folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay today. So, if you like my take on it or just the things I've been talking about or whatever, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to know when I post new stuff. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about is COVID, and I don't want to get into the politics of it. I just want to mention my observation strictly of the virus. I know on a first name basis I can name off probably close to a dozen people that have had it. More if you count coworkers that have had it or had to be isolated due to close contact. But it's just wild to me, this virus. So we'll start out. The first people that I know that had it was my pastor and his wife. He's in his 50s. He's a grandfather. She never caught it, actually. They stayed away from each other during the daytime. They didn't have a comfortable spot for her to sleep. And so they would sleep in the same bed every night. She never caught it. He caught it, and he had some rather long-term complications from it. And he is a very healthy 50-year-old man. He exercises very regularly. He's a retired Marine. He stayed in shape when he got out. My worship pastor, he caught it, and don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but not in the same physical condition. He's younger though. He said, just kind of felt under the weather, lost sense of smell and taste. That was about it. My wife had it. She kind of bounced back and forth between the couch and the bed for 3 days. She was probably sleeping 12, 14 hours a day easily due to just feeling sick and not having any energy. Like, she would wake up at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, go sit down on the couch, have a little light breakfast if she was hungry, watch TV, fall asleep watching TV for an hour or two, go back to bed, take a nap, wake up in bed, come back out and watch TV, and then by then it'd be time to go to bed for the night. And that's all she would do. And also, I never caught COVID from her, and I stayed away from her for a couple days, and then once she started feeling better, I didn't take staying away from her seriously. My mother had it same time my wife did, and she said aside from childbirth, it's the worst she'd ever felt in her life. Now, at the time, she was 63. And she had a couple comorbidities for COVID. A guy I know, I haven't seen him in a while, but through circle of friends, I kind of stay up to speed on him. He's probably in his late 60s, early 70s. He caught it, and he said, I didn't even know I was sick. They had to tell me. Way I understand it, he caught COVID through a close contact, and when that came out, they said, hey, you might want to go get tested. He did, found out he had it, went quarantined at the house for 2 weeks like you're supposed to, but never felt sick the whole time. The guy side hustles, buying, repairing, and selling used lawnmowers. And from my understanding, he never stopped. He just had to fix what he was working on, or get people to drop parts off for him, or get people to drop the mowers off and pay a little extra for the used lawnmowers, things like that. But he never stopped as far as I'm aware. Guy I'm in a band with, he's in his mid to late 40s, I'd guess. He had it, and it about killed him. Relatively healthy guy, maybe a touch overweight, but not terribly. He had it, and he was on a vent in a coma for over 3 weeks. Left the hospital, couldn't stand, couldn't walk, couldn't pick his arms up, couldn't swallow. He had severe muscle atrophy. I seen him for the first time after his hospitalization, probably 4 months after he got out, and he still, he couldn't breathe without portable oxygen. He just now, and this was early summer that he caught it, he just now got cleared to go back to work, and he's a truck driver. So not a overly physical job, sitting in a truck, maybe having to unload trailers with a powered pallet jack or a forklift, something like that, but nothing too serious. And I think he works for a company where he does a lot of warehouse work, so I don't think he actually has to unload. I'm not positive on that. Another guy I know that caught it, one of my lawn customers, I found out about this today. This guy's maybe in his mid to late 40s, might be 50 years old. That'd be a very high number if I were to peg his age. He's, up until today, he was a very muscular man. You could tell he spent some time in the gym working out, might have had a couple extra pounds, but he had some serious guns on his arms. He definitely worked out. Wasn't his little secret either. He had it, and it about killed him too. He was one step away from going on a ventilator. They actually wanted to put him on one. He refused. They isolated him for 36 hours, doing palliative care, kind of waiting on him to die. He's like, I ain't dying in here. But he, as far as I'm aware, he had none of the comorbidities for it. I don't know anybody's vaccination status out of the majority of the ones that I'm mentioning, because I don't particularly care. But yeah, I just thought it was wild, some of the people that it shouldn't have, that based on what we know about COVID, as far as the comorbidities that tend to make you fare worse off when you have the virus, some of these people didn't have them, some of them did, and some of them had a very easy time of it. Some of them decidedly didn't, and age is definitely a comorbidity, and some of these people had it very rough. Buddy of mine had it, and he had to quarantine for 2 weeks at work. My carpool buddy, he had it, and no real big deal. He also got the vaccine because he knew that the natural immunity would eventually wear off, and he did space that out quite a bit. Who else do I know that had it? I know several people at church that have had it. I don't know ages or medical histories that well, or like comorbidities, but some of them have had it and had very easy. Some have had it, had very rough, and some of those, you know, who had it easy or rough didn't make any sense based on what we know. This is just a wild virus. It, you know, I got the vaccine. I had zero issues with it, aside from some injection site soreness for about 2 or 3 days. And then for about a week, I had a very mild headache after each injection. It came and went sometimes, but it wasn't enough where if it was a normal headache, I would have taken anything for it. I might have just, you know, kind of tried to got someplace a little quieter and whatnot. But yeah, that was about it. So for the injections for me, and like I said, I, as far as I'm aware, never had it. I've had 5 tests when I had 3 tests when I was exposed because my wife and my mother had it. I had 2 additional tests when I had symptoms, but they were negative. Turns out you can actually still get normal sick. But I have had multiple COVID tests, and as far as I'm aware, I've never had it. But yeah, I just thought it was wild. Like, this guy who was maybe a few pounds on his deadlift shy of becoming a certifiable meathead, almost died from COVID. And, you know, he lives, as far as I can tell from, you know, someone that I cut their grass, he lives pretty healthy. He's obviously at the gym. He's out in the sun constantly. Dude has a pretty good tan all summer long. They have a above ground pool in the backyard, and him and his family are constantly outside on the deck grilling and swimming and all that. So he's you know, pretty healthy guy, and I just find it wild that it almost killed him. So anyway, that's just kind of what I got for today, folks. You know, stay safe out there. Try not to go too crazy. Do something you enjoy. That's what I got. Y'all take care. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.